Are you having trouble starting your stream? Do you spend hours Googling equipment? Watch this video right now to be a professional streamer or money back guarantee. Hey guys, my name is Mia, and this is going to be a video about how to get started streaming on Twitch and what equipment you need. I go by Sleepy Mia on Twitch. I'm an art streamer. I am not a big streamer by any means, but I still get asked this question like at least once a day. What do I need to start streaming? Well, person, I will tell you. I'm going to try to tell you what you need to get started streaming on Twitch.
Again, I'm not a very big channel.
It's enough for a really nice community that I adore and that I have a lot of fun with. So I hope that I can help you guys to build that as well. Let's get going. The first thing you are going to need to start streaming is internet. You're gonna need like a stable internet connection. I am not a computerologist. I'm gonna go into this as much as I can without giving you misinformation, but you're gonna need a decent upload speed, a decent download speed, although upload matters far more. When I started streaming, I was able to get by with about like 5 megabits per second upload. It needs to be stable.
Do not try streaming over Wi-Fi.
Please get an Ethernet cable and connect directly into your modem or into your router, because that is the only way you're gonna get a stable enough internet connection to actually stream, especially if you don't have GG Google Fiber internet. There's a couple things that you should know about. You should know about Twitch Test, which is something I use that checks your connection to different Twitch servers. You can also use Twitch Inspector. It shows you when you dropped frames, how long you dropped frames for, and then the other thing you should pay attention to is in OBS. You can actually see at the very bottom like the amount of frames you've dropped. Here you can see if your stream disconnects or if there's any errors, why that happened. I also recommend changing the quality of your stream. If you are one of those people who are just starting and your stream is set to 1280p, no, you should set your stream to 720p maximum. This is because unless you're a partner, you are not guaranteed quality options, which means your viewers who click on your stream might not be able to change the quality to a lower resolution, and not everyone can look at 1280 streams comfortably without any lag, and so they just won't. They'll just leave. We want to make them stay. The next thing you're gonna need is broadcasting software. Right now I am using OBS Studio. The most popular ones I can think of off the top of my head are XSplit OBS or STREAMLABS OBS, which is basically, I don't know, like a ripoff OBS. I can really only talk about OBS because that's what I use. That's all I know. I have tried using STREAMLABS OBS before, but in my experience, personally, OBS Studio is more stable. Use whatever is best for you, your workflow, etc., etc. I'm not going to tell you have to use OBS Studio. It's just what I prefer. All you have to do to get your broadcasting software is literally go to the website, click download, install it. That's it. Now you're going to need to go into Twitch and grab your stream key and then drop that in the streaming software, and you're literally ready to get started and hit start streaming, okay? The next thing you're gonna need is a computer. This should really go without saying, but I don't know. I just wanna make sure it's in here. So I'm not a computerologist. As I said earlier, I can't tell you exactly what specs you need for your computer. Make sure it's good enough to run whatever you're streaming, as in the video game or the program that you're streaming. The next thing you are going to need is a mic. Your mic does not have to start out amazing. Audio quality, I would say, is more important than even video quality or a camera, and I would honestly say it's one of the most important factors, since people are listening to you quite often. They might not even actually be looking at your stream, they might just be listening. So I recommend upgrading your mic as soon as possible. You can start out with whatever you have and just use that for as long as you need until you upgrade. Let me show you a quick tip to make your audio sound better regardless of what you're using. Go into your broadcasting software. Again, for me, it's OBS. Click this little button, this little diddly right here, then click filters. Now you're gonna see gain is what I have, which makes me sound louder because my voice is actually quite soft. And then you're gonna see noise gate. Noise gate basically makes it to where if it drops below a certain volume, your mic is kind of gonna shut off. It did right there. And if it goes above a certain volume, it's gonna shut off again. All right, so with the noise suppression, basically it's also to help remove background noise. And you would just adjust it until when you're not talking, the mic does not move at all. Again, this is not an audio quality video either. We are just touching the very surface, but I do recommend looking into these filters: gain, noise suppression, compressor, and noise gate, okay? I recommend looking into them because regardless of what you're using, it'll make it sound better. The next thing that you need is controversial, so it's optional. It is not required, okay? This is a camera. If you do not want to use a camera, you can skip this part. That's the timestamp. However, I strongly recommend you listen even if you're not wanting a camera. The reason why I highly suggest using a camera is because Twitch is an interactive website, which means people who go on there are looking for some interaction. Otherwise, they would just watch a YouTube video. Like, even if they want to lurk and they're not going to talk and chat, they're still probably just interested in other things. Like maybe they're interested in your facial expressions, your reaction to different things that are happening live. They're looking for that extra advantage that live content has over pre-recorded content. You're really diminishing that connection between you and your viewer without a camera. Of course, there are popular streamers without cameras. There are always exceptions to the rule. Of course, there are entertaining people without cameras, and maybe you can also be that person, but you're starting with a handicap and you're really limiting yourself by removing that extra thing that can draw people to you. Now, the camera I recommend is a Logitech C920. It is a really good starting camera. A lot of streamers use it, like regardless of how much money they make, they still use this camera. It's about $67 on Amazon, and it's really good for the quality. So let me show you. This is my Sony a6000, and this is the Logitech C920. So it's not going to be exactly the same quality as the Sony a6000. It's definitely good enough for you to get started streaming. And also what we talked about earlier as far as filters goes, you can add filters to your camera in OBS and you can adjust the contrast, the brightness, and the saturation, and that'll really just make your camera look better even if you're using a basic webcam. The next thing you need, the last thing you need in my opinion, is to figure out what your content is. What are you going to be streaming? Why do you want to stream? This is what's going to draw people into you. Like, you need to have that thing that, I don't want to say sets you apart, because you're not going to do something that makes you completely original, that gives people a reason to watch you in the first place. Like, they're probably not going to watch you if you're some no one and you just stand in front of the camera and just look at it waiting for someone to talk. So what game are you playing? What art are you drawing? You really need to figure out what your content is, and I highly recommend specializing. I don't recommend being that person who does a Skyrim stream on Monday and then World of Warcraft on Tuesday and then drawing on Thursday, cooking on Saturday, and then back to World of Warcraft and then Hearthstone. I really recommend not being that person, because you'd have to be so captivating and honestly probably already popular to have an audience that'll follow you as you jump from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. So it's way better to specialize your content. That doesn't mean you can never branch outside of it. If you're an art streamer, it doesn't mean you can never play games. Just be aware you will have a lower view count. And basically, if someone follows you while you're gaming, they're probably hoping they're gonna see more games in the future. So if someone follows while you're drawing and the next time they see you, you're playing games, they're gonna be like, I'm not interested. And they might not come back after that. So I just recommend specializing as much as possible. If you do want to do variety content, variety streams, it's a really good idea in my opinion to have it on scheduled days so people know what to expect and they don't have to constantly like click on your stream to find out it's something they don't want to see, right? If I followed you for art and I'm constantly clicking on you and seeing you gaming instead, I might unfollow. But if I know that you're doing gaming on Fridays, then I'm okay with that. I just won't watch on Fridays, but I'll come back every other day. So it's a lot better when people can at least expect it. Personally, I do mostly art. I'd say like 80% of my stream time is dedicated to art. I do spend like an hour or two some days talking, like doing just chatting at the camera, and then Thursdays I do cooking, which I think is a nice way to mix things up and people also know when to expect it, so they look forward to it rather than just being surprised by me doing something unusual. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I covered the very basics of what you need to get started. I know this doesn't go super in-depth into any of the topics we mentioned, but I just wanted to have an overall video. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, comment down below and let me know. Let me know if you want more Twitch help. If you want to see more videos in the future, you can subscribe and ring the bell please so you're always notified when there's more videos. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter.